Hello everyone, greetings. Welcome to BUD 403 Profiles of Buddhist Leadership course in the spring 2020, conducted by the International University of the East, Om Meditation Center, Los Angeles. My name is Venerable Nivitigala Sumita. I'm also known as Bhante Sumita, and I'm a Buddhist monk for several decades. And I have been teaching Buddhism, meditation, Pali studies, and ESL for quite a while in several universities. And I'm very happy to be on board here at the International University of the East to teach you this subject. It would have been really easy and great if we could meet in person at the classroom, wouldn't it? But the unprecedented catastrophe triggered by the recent corona outbreak has changed the whole system in the world, forcing us to revitalize and remodel our entire system. The power of the nature is truly amazing, isn't it? We humans have been very selfish, I suppose, because we have been overwhelmed with a superego, assuming that we have the exclusive right and authority to do whatever we want in the world. And we pretended to claim the ownership of the entire universe. Hence, we didn't give any space or respect for the other sentient beings in the world. And also, we have inflicted an irreparable damage to the environment. I guess this is a blessing in disguise for all of us, as the nature has decided to reset the mess caused by the humans. Now we are quarantined and locked down, and we have very limited power to exercise our freedom at present. The toll that we have to pay today is very heavy, as we didn't pay enough attention to the warnings of the nature when it gave us some signs such as inferno like fire in Australia and Amazon forest. Now we have an opportunity to look back into our own system, our own inner world, value system, and our leadership from various levels, such as political, social, religious categories, must have a, must have a self-analysis and an honest criticism towards their own systems. I strongly believe we have to respect others if we expect respect from the others. We cannot force others to respect us without we respecting them first. Anyway, just a thought for you to also consider seriously as you are going to be our future leaders. You may reconsider the loopholes of the current system if you wish to have a better and safer world in future. Okay, with that being said, let's get back to the class today. So, profiles of Buddhist leadership is a 4 credit course, and I'm hopeful that we would be able to enjoy these coming weeks, learning from each other the strong message and principles of Buddhism to become effective and efficient leaders through a whole person education system. So, Here's the brief summary of our course details, and I'm sure you must have gone through the course syllabus already. So the topics that we are going to cover during these coming weeks are introduction, Buddhism, Buddha as a great leader, um, Buddhist Sangha as great leaders, and lay Buddhist leaders, Buddhist perspective on leadership. Then we will have review and midterm examination. Buddhist leaders in the past, contemporary Buddhist leaders, role of a modern Buddhist leader, and final review with the final examination. So, as we already know about the syllabus, I suppose you already know the syllabus. Um, let's talk about the yeah. Let's talk about the introduction definition of leadership. According to Lisa Cash Hansen, leadership is the ability to guide others without force into a direction or decision that leaves them still feeling empowered and accomplished. So this is one definition. We will figure it out. Um, what are the other requirements? What are the qualities, virtues entailed into this beautiful and powerful concept called leadership? So, what's leadership? According to Kevin Cruz, he's the CEO of LeadX and author of Great Leaders Have No Rules. Uh, so, so let's start with what's not leadership. According to Kevin, leadership has nothing to do with seniority or one's position in the hierarchy of a company. Leadership has nothing to do with titles. Leadership has nothing to do with personal attributes. And leadership is not management. So, what is a leadership anyway? According to Kevin Cruz, such a simple question, and yet it continues to vex popular consultants and lay people alike. I have now written so what is leadership? According to Kevin Cruz, um, he's the author of Great Leaders Have No Rules. He talks about this subject. And he started with what's not leadership in one of his articles. Leadership has nothing to do with seniority or one's position in hierarchy of a company. Too many talk about the company's leadership referring to the senior most executives in the organization, they are just that senior executives. Leadership doesn't automatically happen when you reach a certain pay grade. Leadership has nothing to do with seniority or one's position in the hierarchy of a company. Too many talk about companies' leadership, referring to the senior most executives in the organization. They are just that, senior executives. Leadership doesn't automatically happen when you reach a certain pay grade, according to Cruz. Um, Hopefully, you find it there, but there are no guarantees, Kevin says. And leadership has nothing to do with the titles. Similar to the point above, Cruz says, just because you have a C level title doesn't automatically make you a leader. In all of my tasks, Kevin says, I stress the fact that you don't need the title to lead. In fact, you can be a leader in your place of worship, your neighborhood, in your family, all without having a title. Leadership has nothing to do with personal attributes. Say the word leader, and most people think of a domineering, take charge, charismatic individual. We often think of icons from history like General Patton, President Lincoln, but leadership isn't an adjective. We don't need extroverted, charismatic traits to practice leadership. And those with charisma don't automatically lead. Leadership isn't management. This is a big one. Leadership and management are not synonymous. You have 15 people in your downline and P&L responsibility. Good for you. Hopefully, you are a good manager. Good management is needed. Managers need to plan, measure, monitor, coordinate, solve, hire, fire, and so many other things. Typically, managers manage things, leaders lead people. So, again, what's leadership? And according to Peter Drucker, the only definition of a leader is someone who has no, who has followers. Really, this instance of tautology is so simplistic as to be dangerous. A new army captain is put in the command of 200 soldiers. He never leaves his room or utter a word to the men and women in his unit. Perhaps routine orders are given through a subordinate. By default, his troops have to follow orders. Is the captain really a leader? Commander, yes. Leader, no. Drucker is, of course, a brilliant thinker of modern business, but his definition of leader is too simple. Meanwhile, Warren Bennis, he says, leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. Every spring, you have a vision for a garden, and with lots of work, carrots and tomatoes become a reality. Are you a leader? No, you are a gardener. Venice's definition seems to have forgotten others. Okay, about this guy, Bill Gates. He says, as we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower others. This definition includes others, and empowerment is a good thing. But to what end? I've seen many empowered others in my life, Kevin says, from writing hooligans to Google workers who were so misaligned with the rest of the company, they found themselves unemployed. Gates's definition lacks the parts about goal or vision. Let's go to one more. This guy is John Maxwell. According to him, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Like Kevin says, he likes minimalism, but this reduction is too much. A robber with a gun has influence over his victim. A manager has the power to fire team members, which provides a lot of influence. But does this influence make a robber or a manager or a leader? Maxwell's definition omits the source of influence. So, what's leadership? Leadership. So, so what's leadership? Leadership is a process of social influence which maximizes the efforts of others towards the achievement of a goal. Notice key elements of this definition. Okay. See, key element one, leadership stems from social influence, not authority or power. Number two, leadership requires others, and that implies they don't need to be direct reports. Number three, no mention of personality traits, attributes, or even a title. There are many styles, many paths to effective leadership. Key element four, it includes a goal, not influence with no intended outcome. Lastly, what makes this definition so different from many of the academic definitions out there is the inclusion of maximize maximizes the efforts. Most of Kevin's works in the area of employee management, engagement, and engaged employees give discretionary effort. So here, here in this lesson, we will try to figure out, if we can find out through this course. So, so here in this course, we try to figure out the qualities of a Buddhist leader. That was something we have to figure out. Buddha's prime objective was Sabba Papasa Akaranam, Kusalasa Upasampada, Sachitta Pariyodapanam, Etang Buddhana Sasana. Sabba Papasa Akaranam means to avoid all evil, not to do any bad things. Kusalasa Upasampada, to do good, to engage in wholesome deeds. Sachitta Pariyodapana means, Chitta means mind, Sachitta Pariyodapana means to purify the mind. Etang Buddhana Sasanam. This is the core essence of Buddha's doctrine teaching. So, in a nutshell, Buddhism um, prescribes a very powerful formula of um, leadership. The prime objective of this leadership is not to do anything unwholesome and to do wholesome and good things and purify mind, and this is it. So, even more precisely, if we say to do good and to be good, this is the very essence of Buddha's message. So, today I would like to discuss about the literature review with you guys and some of the books and articles I have selected here for this course, and I would like to also share with you all these materials. Later on, please send me your email address. If you have a Gmail address, that would be very good. I'm going to use some maybe Google Drive or something so that you can get the link to all those course materials, especially the texts and articles, these books and articles. Because of this situation, I thought um, I didn't want you to buy a book, textbook in particular. I have researched some articles and books that would be very useful, and most all these articles and books can be freely available. I have already selected them, downloaded them. I can share with you all um, in the future. So just let me know your contact details. So the first one is Path of Purification. There is a very nice translation available to this. I also have the ebook to this, so you can have a look. Path of Purification is Visuddhi Magga. The book talks about the threefold journey towards the final goal. So the Buddha's message, Buddha's objective was to lead all sentient beings to get out of this suffering in the samsara, in the world. Everyone is subject to suffering. So the Buddha's main goal was not something mundane, not something related to this world, but to get out of this suffering. So the Visuddhimagga is one of the most comprehensive treatises that one can follow in leading himself or herself to that final goal, liberation or nibbana. The second one is called Satya Vibhanga Sutta, an original discourse in the Tipitaka Pali canons. And here I just selected this one because the sutta um, discusses in detail about the Noble Eightfold Path and Four Noble Truths. I think that will be very useful to us. You can have a look later on. And then a very, very powerful sutta called Kalama Sutta, the Buddha's Charter of Free Inquiry. Such an enormously powerful, very influential, very impressive and brave doctrine by the Buddha. Uh, and we should not forget the fact that Buddha was living at a time when Indian society was suppressed and the women were suppressed, and lots of people had so many caste problems, social degradation, discrimination was happening all the time. So Buddha's charter of free inquiry in that case is very, very important. And next, I would also like to discuss about this sutta, Sigalovada Sutta, compiled here by Venerable Dhammasiri. I will give you share this book with you. Um, this is with pictures, so I think it will be fun. Sigalovada Sutta is a very long discourse, but also it's a really wonderful treatise of our duties and our performances. People talk about the rights, they fight for their own rights, but most of the people they forget their own duties. So, duty towards parents, duty towards children, duty towards the teachers, duty towards the friends, and um, husband, wives, and all kinds of, and even the monks, and everyone in the society is included into um, what we call uh, eight directions. So these directions are symbolically suggested by the society, social different segments of the society. So this is a very interesting sutta, Sigalovada Sutta. Sariputta Sihanada Sutta, Sariputta Sutta is also a very powerful sutta in the Tipitaka. And by the way, Tipitaka, I hope you know, Tipitaka is the in Theravada Buddhism and also in Mahayana Buddhism, we have something called Tipitaka, Sutta, Vinaya, Abhidhamma. These are three-fold divisions of the canonical teachings. And in Sariputta Sutta, or Sariputta Siyananda Sutta, there Venerable Sariputta, the first high command, you can say, uh, of the entire Buddhist monk order, Venerable Sariputta is the foremost among wise monks. And he has been very pure monk and very wise, and his noble conduct has been appreciated by the Buddha many times, including this particular sutta. And I would also like to talk about, introduce you to this book, 2500 Years of Buddhism by Professor P.V. Bapat. This one was written 1956 something. And this book is also very, very useful. Um, I have read it long time ago for my master degree when I was in India. Hopefully this will also be useful for you guys to learn about the historical accounts of Buddhism and Buddhist leadership. And also if we talk about Buddhist leaders, especially after the Buddha's time, um, King Ashoka of India, his role um, is really unforgettable. His biography, history, Buddhism, and facts will be very useful to know. So I'd like to invite you to have a look at um, this book called Ashoka. And right speech as a basis for management training. This is a powerful presentation about management training and especially right speech. Are we speaking the right words? Are there leaders speaking true words, right speech? Right speech is really a very powerful doctrine in Buddhism. And Thera Theri Gata, Bhikkhu Tanisaro of San Diego, Metaphorus Center. I think you should go there one day if you have some time. It's a beautiful place, amazingly powerful, and very good energy is there if you go there. Kutanisaro is a very, very wonderful monk who writes a lot and also who meditates. He also trains young people who want to practice as Buddhist monks. And some of his writings, some of his speeches are very informative, very useful. And one of them is Thera Theri Gatha, is also text in Khuddaka Nikaya. And in this particular um, book, um, we find Theras and Theris stanzas. They are utterances by those liberated monks and nuns, uh, what we call Arahanta monks and nuns those days. So their experience can be very useful to know about when we talk about the Buddhist leadership. So I'm trying to figure out Buddhist leadership from the Buddha's time, the monks and nuns from those days, and then following, we also have like King Ashoka and other Buddhist leaders that during that time, immediately after the Buddha, and then also the contemporary time, we will also talk about that. What the Buddha taught, I think, is this book um, is really very powerful book, very short, simple, but very popular book. It has been translated into French, German, Spanish, Italian, Yugoslavian, Sinhalese, Chinese, Burmese, Thai, Korean, Vietnamese, and Tamil. So very popular book by Venerable Valpula Rahula. Um, um, Dr. I.B. Ono, President of the Polytech Society, in her review in the Middle Way, Journal of the Buddhist Society, London, she says, a model of a book should be authoritative and clear, logical and sober. This study is as comprehensive as it is masterly. Really wonderful book, this one. I highly recommend you to use this book. Um, this book is also available freely as a PDF. So, chapter 1 says the Buddhist attitude of mind, and then Four Noble Truths are explained here. Four Noble Truths are very important, as you all know, I guess. Four Noble Truths is the very essence of Buddha's teaching. So, beautiful, short and sweet presentation of the Four Noble Truths, and then the doctrine of no soul. Okay, very interesting um, discussion here. And then meditation of mental culture, and what the Buddha taught and the world today. And plus, we have some selected text towards the end of the book. This book, what the Buddha taught, is um, an important book for us to refer to during this time. The Buddhist view of leadership, the case of the author project, Procos. So this is a very nice case study. Um, you can also have a look at this. And then Adam Smith as Bodhisattva, a meta-analysis of global leadership. So Bodhisattva as a powerful person who could live, who could lead an exceptional role model. Um, can we use these qualities for a global leadership today? It's an interesting paper. Um, Addressing unintended ethical challenges of workplace mindfulness, a four-stage mindfulness development model. This book, this paper also is um, very nice. I hope this can be also very practical for today's workplace challenges, especially when we talk about the mindfulness and when we talk about the ethical challenges. Um, these practices can be really important. What we call uh, Satipatthana Sutta in Buddhist canons talks about the extensive practice that where the practitioners should focus on, fourfold practices especially. Um, uh, Kaya-nupassana, Vedana-nupassana, Chitta-nupassana, and Dhamma-nupassana, the four contemplations. Hope we can have some time in the future to discuss more about this as well. And then I'd like to talk about some contemporary Buddhist leaders like this guy, His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Is such a wonderful character. His life itself is so amazing. The things he has undergone, and now the person who is today as one of the premier Buddhist leaders in the world. I like this picture. Like he's very humble, very simple. He always respects others, and I've learned from many things from this person. I've met him personally, and the other one is A.T. Ratna. Here he is actually um, leading 6,000 prisoners in Sri Lanka. Well, a person who founded some 50 something years ago. He founded a program called Sarvodaya, village reawakening program in Sri Lanka. And he has led many thousands of villages, rural areas, um, with developing, promoting village community level leaders. That was a very popular program those days, and he has been recognized by the World Organization for his leadership. And then Aung San Suu Kyi, I think, is also a very prominent leader in Myanmar. People know that when the Myanmar as a country was under military rule, she was house arrested, and but she had a very determined character, and a lot of things happened in that country, and now she is also the leader of that country, and she also received um, Nobel Peace Prize. So some of these characters can be useful, and there are many more, in fact. I hope I can also talk about these three things, what we call um, three steps towards the final liberation: Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, morality, concentration, and wisdom. So the wisdom is the final goal, concentration is the middle, and the very foundation of the knowledge, the wisdom is the Sila, the morality, the ethical consideration. So Buddhist education, Buddhist whole person education is very much enveloped with morality as a very, very strong foundation. So all the Buddhist monks, they have to follow very strictly their sila, and the lay people also have five precepts, what we call Panchasila. And when they practice little more, they can also practice like 8 precepts or 10 precepts. And for Buddhist monks and nuns, they have to follow many more rules, hundreds of rules. So they are all kind of moral, ethical lifestyles. And so I think that's it pretty much for today. And I would like to be in touch with you in future. Let's see what we can share more and what we can learn from each other. And also, please stay in touch. Let me know if you need any assistance, if you have any concerns, and we can be in touch. And so that's it for today. See you again. So that's it for today. See you again. Thank you. Have a nice, wonderful week ahead, and stay safe and stay home and healthy. Thank you.